Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Late afternoon here in Atlanta. It is the middle game of a weekend set. The Braves taking game one last night, 5-1. Welcome to Cubs baseball here on CSN. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs scored just one run last night, but they get Anthony Rizzo back in the lineup today, and Chris Coghlan will make his first start.
Yeah, I could have used Rizzo's bat in the lineup last night. Bud Norris, hard-throwing right-hander, was really good, really shut down the Cubs. They managed just 4 hits in that ball game off Norris. So good to have Riz back and good to have Chris Coghlan back in a Cub uniform. He was not putting up good numbers with the Oakland Athletics, but I doubt that he's forgotten how to hit. So I think there's some good work ahead for Chris Coghlan. Joe Madden has him playing left field here this afternoon.
And Jake Arrieta is on the mound. His last 2 starts, he's been good, but they've been Cubs losses.
Yeah, and last time out was a real funky game. 5 innings against the Diamondbacks. He ended up losing that game despite 12 strikeouts, and his stuff was probably the best we've seen all year. So we expect a bounce-back game for Arrieta here today. You see the numbers for his last 2 starts. He pitched twice against the Braves last year and did not allow a run. Young Matt Whistler will work for the Braves. He really got knocked around last time out against the Dodgers, allowed 3 home runs, 8 runs in just 4 innings. But prior to that, he'd been on a very nice roll.
Cubs still have the best record in all of baseball. 41 up, only 18 down, and their ace on the mound today. Cubs and Braves from Atlanta next.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
Bridge Depot, Dexter Fowler gets a hit in his first at bat. Binnie's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicagoland Food Depository. Bill Murray and his brother Joel and Andy. The Murrays are well represented here in Atlanta. There's Joel on the right, and Andy there in the back. Cheering on the Cubs today. Joel will be one of the co-MCs for Hot Stove Cool Music next Friday at Metro. Let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant at the top as per usual. Good to see Anthony Rizzo back in there, and he'll try to extend his hitting streak. Zobrist at second. Chris Coghlan, second tour with the Cubs. Montero catching, Russell at short, and the pitcher Arrieta batting ninth.
Braves defensively, big outfield to cover here at Turner Field. Smith, Inciarte, and Markakis cover left, center, and right respectively. Adonis Garcia made a spectacular play last night. He's at third. Darno Peterson up the middle. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman. A.J. Pierzynski, 39 years old, behind the plate on this hot day. And the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is a 23-year-old right-hander. His name is Matt Whistler. He's made 11 starts, 1 relief appearance. He does not have a winning record, but this team doesn't win a lot. He has a 3.98 ERA. As we mentioned in our open, struggled last time out against the Dodgers, but a 2.51 ERA, covering 6 May starts prior to that one.
With their alternate jerseys, I like this look. Cream colored top. And we're underway.
I'll second that. I like the cream.
Yeah, it is hot.
Whistler came over here in a trade with the Padres at the beginning of last year, split the year between AAA and Atlanta. He was 8-8 with the Braves last year and a 4.71 ERA.
Ron Culpa back at the plate. Chris Conroy at first. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, at second. Sean Barber is at third. 94 degrees.
Whistler will go 90 to 95 with the heater, sit comfortably around 93. That appeared to be a changeup. There's a slider, curve, and a change. Likes the slider probably better than the other secondary pitches.
Down the left field line and out of play. Looks like we have a bigger crowd today than last night. 30,547 for the opener.
A lot of Cub fans in the house. A fan with a fan.
Whistler whistles one, and that ball is popped up and caught by the third baseman Garcia out in shallow left.
Dexter came into this ball game hitting .299, his average dipping below 300 for the first time all year. He got jammed pretty good by that one. He does not stand alone in that regard. A lot of the Cub hitters slumping here. They're hitting as a team .234 here in the month of June.
Nice hand for former Brave Jason Hayward. Tough night at the plate last night. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Made a nice sliding catch out in right. There's the 0-1. It's off the inside corner. His brother Jacob got drafted in the 18th round by the San Francisco Giants out of the University of Miami. He's a junior, right-handed hitting outfielder. That ball sent to deep right, and it will go for Hayward. 1-0, 2 batters in.
And he gave that one the full treatment. There was no doubt about it. He jumped all over that pitch. 4th of the year, 2nd on the road trip for Hayward. A little acknowledgement to the family. Boom. Center cut and gone. That's your Ford home run replay. Whistler, a fly ball pitcher. That's the 10th home run he's allowed this year.
Strike called on Chris Bryant. Cubs have their first lead of the weekend. Oh, 2. Well, that had to feel really good for Jason Hayward. Tough start at the plate. Homer's in a very comfortable setting here in Atlanta, as Bryant sends it sky high out into short center, and it will be in Ciarte. 2 hands on it and 2 down, and we welcome those viewers watching us on MLB Network today. Here comes Rizzo.
This is Whistler's second career start against the Cubs. They cuffed him around pretty good last year. He allowed 3 home runs, didn't make it out of the 3rd inning.
Rizzo did not play last night. First time he has not gotten into a game all season. Back tightness, the reason he was scratched. 3rd missed start, not a hop. It's played by Peterson. Also want to welcome our viewers watching on Mediacom in the Cedar Rapids in the Quad Cities. Cubs 1, Braves coming up. Ball averaging 3.13 runs per game. Here's their Southwest starting lineup in Ciarte, Darno, Freeman at the top, Markakis, Garcia, who had a big night last night, and A.J. Przinsky. Hello, A.J. Peterson, Whistler, and Smith rounded up.
Cubs are deployed thusly. Hey, there's Chris Coughlin in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, Jason Hayward in right. You'll notice the difference in philosophy. The Cubs play much deeper in the outfield than do the Braves. Infield, it's Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, and Rizzo. Miguel Montero behind the plate, and the Lexus pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Cubs this afternoon is Jake Arrieta. And you see the numbers on Arrieta. They are glittering, 9-1 with a .180 ERA. And the league's also hitting 180 against him. He's allowed just 3 home runs.
.95, but a little bit outside, maybe up to Ender Inciarte.
He was busting it up there at 95, 97 last time out against the Diamondbacks.
A bounce to Rizzo. He'll underhand to Arrieta and
didn't get it.
Safe.
And will reach a little bit for that toss, a little bit out of rhythm, and failed to touch the base. It's going to be an error charge to Jake. And oh, he dropped the ball. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice that. I thought he just missed the bag.
So the Cubs committed 2 errors in the series. They'd gone 8 in a row without one before last night.
Braves were pretty aggressive on the bases last night. I expect them to be so again here today. Montero's had a hard time throwing out base runners. Arrieta is not particularly quick to home. And they just don't have a lot of firepower in their lineup, so probably makes sense to try to get a little something done with the running game.
Darno for 5 last night. He did reach on an error and stole a base. 29-year-old infielder, former Pirate and Philly. Eric Ibar is on the DL. He's got a right foot bruise. So the Braves went back-to-back last night for the first time this season. Garcia and Flowers homered in consecutive at-bats in the second inning off Jason Hamill. That gave them 25 on the year. That is by far the lowest total among all major league teams. Tied for 28th, right above the Braves, are the Miami Marlins and Kansas City Royals. They have 50. Now, if this holds up, we're not even halfway through the season. That might be the biggest drop, right, between 29th and 30th. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I would think. Looking back, the 1979 Astros hit 49 home runs. That's one of the lowest totals in recent years for a full season.
Kevin Seitzer is their hitting coach. Yeah, the Mets hit 74, so they finished 25 behind the next worst on that list. There's a 2-1 from Jake, and it's outside.
The 86 Cardinals, another team that didn't hit many home runs. Well, the Royals last year were in a slugging team, but yeah, this is a particularly anemic bunch. You take Freddie Freeman out of the mix, and this particular lineup today, without Freeman, has hit 6 home runs.
Hitters count here for Darno, and the pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah, the run he gets on that two-seam fastball, pretty impressive. He gets a lot of swings and misses with that sinker diving down and in. And obviously, that can be a good ground ball pitch for him too. High strikeout rate, high ground ball rate for Arrieta.
This is Russell, and they'll get only one. It's the lead man. So 1 out, and it'll bring up Freeman. And if I ever need a lifeline on anemic offenses, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
Because the 86 Cardinals hit 58 home runs. 52 behind the Expos, who had 110.
That's the Whitey ball era Cardinals on the turf. Slap and run.
262 bases that year. 1 strike on Freeman.
Freeman not hitting for average this year. That's likely to turn around. He's a line drive hitter.
Runner goes, and Freeman sculls it foul.
So as I mentioned, Arrieta in his start against the Diamondbacks last time out lasted just 5 innings. He struck out 12 punch outs in 5 innings. That doesn't happen that often in the long history of this game. Just a lot of pitching. Michael Bourne started the game with a 10-pitch at bat. I don't know if it was by design, but the Diamondbacks were patient. They fought off a lot of tough pitches. This group, that's not in their DNA. This group does not see that many pitches. They were really aggressive last night.
Knocked down by Montero on a pitch that bounced in front of home plate. That loss for Jake. On Sunday was his first since July 25th of last year when they were no hit by Cole Hamels. So it snapped a winning streak personally at 20 for Arrieta, tied for the third longest such streak in Major League history. He's 25-2 now since June 21st of last year. Freeman golfs into left on the move. It's Coughlin to make the grab. And Darno will head back to first.
Not an easy play for a left fielder with a left-handed hitter hitting that ball towards the corner. Slice spin. Got a nice break on it. Travel a good ways. Nice play. Albert Almora Jr. made a spectacular play out there last night. Now Coughlin with a fine running catch.
There's Almora, available off the bench today after getting his first Major League start. Nick Markakis at the dish. Start before last, Arrieta got a no decision. The Cubs lost the game. So that snapped a long stretch of 23 consecutive Cub wins in his starts. And tied for the longest streak in baseball since 1913. Runner moving again, but Markakis is going to bounce out to Zobrist. And we've completed one. It's the Cubs 1 and the Braves nothing. A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Great to have you with us on a scorcher here in Atlanta, Georgia. And Zobrist 1 for 3 last night. Cubs lead 1-0 on the Hayward homer and strike call. Well, let's get to know Matt Whistler a little bit. He is Bryan, Ohio. That's up in the northwest corner of the state. The Michigan and Indiana borders, about 3 hours east of Chicago. Small town, population under 10,000. And not far from Defiance, Ohio, the hometown of Chad Billingsley and John Neese. Pulled to first. as Freeman will step on the bag.
Cubs are the hottest ticket in town. Your best option for future games is Monday through Thursday. Very limited availability on weekends throughout the summer. Don't wait. Plan now. Visit Cubs.com.
Here's Chris Coughlin. He lined out as a pinch hitter. His second Cubs debut.
Whistler
outside
throws both the 2 and 4-seam fastball. He likes to work up in the zone with the 4-seamer. Some swings and misses, some weak contact up there. 2-seam has good arm side run. Working off that outside edge, and boy, you got a nice call there from Ron Kulpa. I was umpiring home plate today. I'd probably have a pretty big zone too. Of course, I don't have integrity.
1-2.
It's a little problematic for the hitters right there. 94 knee high, just tickling that outside corner. What's a man to do?
Don't do that.
Like a little emergency hack. But Norris, last night's starter for the Braves, very effective with a good 4-seam fastball up in the zone, and bearing that slider down and in on the left-handed hitter. He's got a lot of swings and misses. They're capable of playing that same game.
After the high one and able to stay alive. That is such a tough pitch to lay off, especially with 2 strikes, and one you can do very little with. We've talked with Joe in the past about high and low, and you hear the cliche, keep the ball down. More guys are able to handle the ball down than way up. He loves above the strike zone, and that's where you lived a lot of your career. So it's kind of counterintuitive to say, right? But it's true.
A sinker baller obviously wants to keep the ball down, but a guy that throws riding 4-seam fastballs, normally the game plan is to try to get ahead, and whereas sinker ballers may expand east and west, guys with 4-seamers like to expand up. So get ahead, down in the zone, and then start to climb the ladder and see if you can get the hitter to go up and try to handle that high ball.
There's the catcher Montero hitting 7th today. Whistler just notched his first strikeout. And that'll get out of play. So you're probably wondering who else is from Bryan, Ohio.
Who is?
Bob Hartman. You know that name?
Bob Hartman.
Yeah. He founded the pioneering Christian rock group Petra. Which I know is a big part of your iPod.
Familiar with their work.
Dum Dum Suckers manufacturer. The Spangler Candy Company. And the Ohio Art Company, which makes Etch-a-Sketch, are headquartered in Bryan.
Love the Etch-a-Sketch.
Dum Dums? Come on. Everybody's had a Dum Dum sucker.
Got way too many of those trick-or-treating. Come on. How about a candy bar? That was a big bowl of those at the dentist's office, the Dum Dums.
It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? Although, I guess if they want you to come back.
Way to get repeat business.
Yeah. One and 2 on Miguel. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Freeman. And that will end the inning. We've been accused of being called dum-dums. So that works for us too.
Went up to 35 times totaling. In total.
One nothing. Cubs have the lead. Braves had a base runner, but no hits in the first as Arrieta committed an error. There's Adonis Garcia. 3 for 3 with a home run and a walk in the opener last night. 100th major league game. Jason Bateman is here. You know, I know Joel is shooting a movie, Joel Murray. I wonder if Mr. Bateman is also in that film.
I'll have to get on the Google machine and check it out.
I have to. Here's a pitch. Blown away.
Garcia from Cuba. Defected in 2011. Started his professional career here in the States with the Yankees. Ultimately was released, picked up by the Braves last year. Well, he's not a kid. He's 31 years of age. He's got the hit tool. He has struggled defensively. Although, as I mentioned earlier, made a spectacular play in the ball game last night.
Two. He's grounded to Zobrist. Ben Zobrist, without having to do anything other than just being himself, could make an instructional video. He just followed him around for one day. Watch how he fields this ground ball. And that is his textbook.
Yep. Takes his time over the top.
That high pitch, and hello, AJ. Przinsky missed it. If you're unfamiliar with the bit, that was kind of the deal with the White Sox. We always kind of treated him like Newman from Seinfeld. Hello, Newman. Loved playing the villain in that crosstown series.
A couple of former White Sox doing the catching here. And, Tyler Flowers, who caught last night.
19th major league season for AJ. Two-time All-Star. You see good career numbers against the Cubs, but he hits this one on the ground right to Addison Russell.
Yeah, good sign here for Arrieta early, getting all these ground balls. They're not working the deep counts, not getting strikeouts, but that's okay, especially on a hot day like today. Trying to save some bullets.
Jace Peterson, brought back from the minor leagues yesterday. 2
Not
for
Peterman,
3.
Peterson.
Right.
If you want to get that whole Seinfeld thing going.
Yeah, you're right. You're always in on a Seinfeld reference. On the move is Chris Coghlan, and he makes the catch. Master of his own domain out there in left. Leading 1-0.
That Southern girl bleeds Cubby blue. Get that girl a snow cone or something. She needs something cold.
Addison Russell to start it. And he fouls back out of play.
Addie in a prolonged funk now has seen his batting average drop to 228.
One and one. Braves now tied with the Twins for the worst record in baseball after their win last night. They improved to 18-42, same record as Minnesota. So last night, we were talking about the Braves' worst 59-game start since 1911, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a base hit. So Russell is aboard to start the inning. Well, it's now their worst 60-game start since 1935. So getting a little bit more contemporary with every win. The Cubs would like to keep them right where they are at 18 for the rest of the weekend. Here's Arrieta. Cubs off to their best start since 1918.
Now Joe likes to let his pitcher swing. Because of the heat, he may have Arrieta bunting here. Or not.
You pitched in a lot of weather like this on turf. St. Louis, Cincinnati. Did you like pitching on days like this? The three t-shirt kind of day?
You know, you always felt like you accomplished something when you got through it. It was a satisfying feeling just to be beat down by the elements. You know, if you pitched reasonably well. Like, you know, give me 85, 95, 90, you know, low 90s. That's a little dicey. Big fur-bearing northerner, you know, it's a little bit of a challenge for me.
Fur-bearing?
Yeah, big hairy guy. Just really enjoy the sweltering heat.
One and two.
Ron Culpa is going to maintain a fairly wide zone here today.
There's the bunt with two strikes. Diving attempt by Whistler, and Arrieta is safe. How about that play?
Yeah, you know, I like the bunt because I like the idea of dancing the base runner and getting Arrieta off the bases on this hot day. But, you know, it's a base hit, and he's on a chance to do some damage here. He's a supremely conditioned athlete, so he's probably less bothered by the extreme heat than many.
So 2 on, nobody out, and here's Fowler. 1 for 5 to start the series. Ball 1. Bounced away from Przinski. A wild pitch. Both runners move up.
Overcooks that slider. It's a tough one to block. Bounces that far out in front of the plate.
Infield in a bit, not all the way. 2-0 the count. Fowler went to Milton High School. Milton is just north of Atlanta. He fouls away.
Recruited to play basketball at Harvard and baseball at the University of Miami.
Fourteenth round pick of the Rockies in 04. It's a ground ball to first, and Russell's going to hold at third. So 1 out.
Yeah, sharply hit. Nowhere for Russell to go on that play.
It'll bring up Hayward, who hit a no-doubter in the first inning. His 4th homer of the year.
It's a big yard. It's 390 to the power alley in right center, 380 in left center. Ball does carry well here. This, in terms of altitude, this is the 3rd highest ballpark in the game in all the land, behind Colorado and Arizona.
You're coming up with all kinds of great facts after the off day. I think that's the key. You know, an extra day to round up some great bits of information. The Deion Sanders note last night.
Deion Sanders, yeah, tomahawk chop. Deion, former Brave. That's why they do the chop here, because of Deion Sanders, who was a pretty good football player down at Florida State. Two strikes, infield all the way in.
Russell at third, Arrieta at second. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. And a big strikeout for Whistler. He's not out of it yet, but 2 down.
He's able to wiggle out of this jam. That'd be a huge win for him. A little backdoor slider to get Hayward.
Bryant looking for his first hit of the series, 0 for 5. Infield back. 3 infielders between second and third as they shift. Slightly the other way in the outfield. And the slider is low and outside.
Well, he's got a base open. Not that he would prefer Rizzo over Bryant, but he does have the luxury of pitching carefully and not giving in a hitter's count.
This is going to get Whistler out of the inning. Inciarte. And that's it. Missed opportunity to tack on. It's 1-0 Cubs in the 3rd. play last night. And after the fact, Joe Madden and Jerry Meals had several conversations. So it ended up being a sac fly here that led to the Braves' third run. Albert Almora throws back to Ben Zobrist to second base. He steps on the bag. You see, Malik Smith had actually gone past second. He did not retouch. The Cubs would later appeal, and he was called out. But because the appeal happened after the runner had crossed home plate, the run counted. But Joe wanted to get kind of a rules clarification. Our understanding of it is that you have to, as a fielder, on that particular play, alert the umpire that you are appealing that the guy didn't retouch the base. And so they said that Zobrist touching second was inadvertent because he didn't say he was appealing.
He needed to look at the second base umpire and go, we're appealing, because the time had not been called. The ball was never out of play. So you can't appeal there without going back to the mound, stepping off the rubber as they ultimately did. But Ben would have had to tell the second base umpire, I want to appeal. He didn't retouch.
Joe said, I've never seen that happen, and that's all due to Albert Almora throwing to the right base. And he was thinking, well, wait a minute. How can we get it where that run didn't count? It's low on the pitcher Whistler. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Charged by Russell for the out.
On Sunday, June 19th, the Cubs play the Pittsburgh Pirates. Up to the first 5,000 kids in attendance, 13 and younger, will receive a special kids hooded towel presented by Advocate Children's Hospital. For more details, including updated game time information, visit Cubs.com. Pirates had Garrett Cole come out of the ball game yesterday after 2 innings with the little triceps issue. Francisco Cervelli's got a broken hamate bone. He had surgery.
Good bunt by Smith, and he's going to be safe. So a bunt single for Malik Smith.
Smith, a very good athlete, raw. He kind of came to baseball late, but he's figuring it out. He's been swinging the bat well of late, and drops on a dandy of a bunt here.
That's their first hit.
The art or the craft of base stealing at this level has eluded him. He's stolen 8 bases, but he's been caught 7 times.
Pitcher batting 8th, so Smith kind of like that second leadoff hitter in the 9 spot. He faked towards second and went back, and Inciarte takes ball 1.
Inciarte, a good guy to play a little hit and run with. He has real good contact skills, doesn't swing and miss that much. He's capable of bunting as well, and Chris Bryant is well in at third base.
This time he goes. And the ball is lifted down the left field line. Coughlin into foul territory, and Smith heads back to first. And did he retouch? Did he get to second?
He didn't get to the bag. I watched him. He slammed
okay.
on the brakes before he got to the base. A lesson learned for young Malik Smith.
Almost had a carbon copy.
Yeah, watch him. Kind of doing the curly thing there, making sure he doesn't go all the way to the base. Curly was a character from the Three Stooges, popular television show back in the day. For those of you who are not of a certain age.
Big lead by Smith. He looks runnerish. Ball 1.
Cubs making more of an effort to try to tightened things up in the running game. We saw with Jason Hamill last night going over to first base frequently, and not just token moves. I mean, he was really going over it quickly and putting a lot on it, as Arrieta does here. And 23 steals, 2 caught with Montero behind the plate, so I think they're trying to give him a fighting chance. Big right-handers who are not particularly quick to home plate, usually easy to run on.
There he goes. Pitches a strike. And again, Montero really didn't have much of a chance. But back up by Russell, as another middle infielder is supposed to do. So that keeps Smith at second. Meantime, 1-1 on d'Arnaud. Some finals from earlier today. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 11-6. Edwin Encarnacion hit a couple homers. Royals over the White Sox 4-1. The Nationals shut out the Phillies 8-0. Tanner Roark called strike 1 and 2.
Mentioned the Pirates issue with Cole and then Cervelli. They've acquired Eric Kratz in a trade. Cervelli having surgery for that hamate bone today, out likely 4 to 6 weeks, I guess.
That's a big one. He's been a big part of their nucleus here these last couple of years. Replacing Russell Martin, who left via free agency. Cubs' next opponent, the Nationals in Washington, D.C. And they head home to play the Pirates next weekend. Fly ball out into right center. It is Dexter Fowler to end the inning. We go to the 4th from Atlanta. Cubs 1, Braves 0. Beloved Chicago baseball broadcaster. Thursday night, CSN's David Kaplan goes one-on-one with former Cubs pitcher and longtime TV analyst Steve Stone. He'll share great stories about working with the legendary Harry Carey, his path from the majors to the microphone, and much more. Inside Look, Steve Stone, presented by Cadillac, premieres Thursday night at 7 on CSN Chicago. Anthony Rizzo launches, and it's going to go 2-0. Welcome back to the lineup, young man.
The first pitch ambush by Big Riz for his 14th. Tie Chris Bryant for the club lead. Not unlike the pitch that Hayward hit out.
Happy zone. Ford home run replay.
Whistler allowed 3 home runs in his last start to the Dodgers. That's number 2 here today. Numbers 10 and 11 on the season. Could normally think, well, solo home runs, that's probably not going to beat you, but against Jake Arrieta and with his with the lack of offense for the Braves, it could very well beat him.
So what did we say? The Braves have 25 homers?
Yeah.
Bryant and Rizzo combined for 28.
And that's the thing, especially for a young guy like Whistler. I'm sure he's been told, look, just pitch. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry, don't worry about the fact that we don't score a lot of runs. Control what you can control.
Zobrist is aboard.
Ben had one of the Cubs' 4 hits in the ball game last night. Things starting to turn around for him. Good approach there with that fastball down, outer third. Poking it the other way.
Got to ask Chris Coughlin if he got a tracksuit, or did he get here a day late? The formal portion of the tracksuit trip was Philly, right?
I'm not sure.
Broken bat fly ball, and it's going to drop. So Coughlin has his first hit. 3 at bats since returning to the Cubs. 2 on, nobody out for Montero.
Probably felt like he was owed that one. He had a bullet last night as a pinch hitter, but on a line right to the second baseman. This time it's a little blooper off the end of the bat. Like Inciardi had designs on trying to make a play on that ball, but thought maybe Markakis was going to come in and try to make a play.
Pitch to Montero is fouled straight back to the net. Cubs have found it tough in this series to manufacture runs, but they like the home runs. And they've hit 2 of them. Hayward and Rizzo today. I think it would apply to Jason Hamill last night. I'm sure Roger McDowell, Matt Whistler, they could say, yeah, he's pitched well. He worked out of the jam in the 3rd inning. Just 2 bad pitches or whatever. Hamill kind of talked about that last night. But because it's only 1 or 2 pitches, sometimes the score will overshadow the way you felt as a pitcher. You say, I got a lot of weak contact. I felt like I set up guys pretty well, but it was the 4 home runs I gave up for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I think the back-to-back home runs. I thought one of the pitches wasn't that bad. It was breaking ball out on the outside corner. The other one was more of a hanger.
Montero lifts in the air out into right center. Pretty well hit. Way back toward the wall. It's gone. That's a 3-run homer. It just kept on carrying.
Well, that's a pretty good poker hand the Cubs have got going this inning. 2 pair home runs and singles. A 4 spot in the 4th, nobody out. And that had to feel awfully good for Montero. He's been scuffling. That's home run number 3 for him, and number 3 on the day for the Cubs. Backdoor breaking ball. Good looking swing, high finish. There's your Ford home run replay.
CRT just going out of room. A 1-1. Russell pops it up. Shallow left.
Cubs destinations travel packages include tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. This season's destinations include stops in Pittsburgh and Chicago. For more information, visit Cubs.com/travel. Look at that happy group there. They're having a blast.
Jake Arrieta with a 5-0 lead to work with. Swinging for the fences, and he missed it. Peterson makes a catch. I guess I'll go back to my point, you know, it tells you the margin for error is so small at this level. You can make some really good pitches, but if you throw 80 or 90 and 3 of them aren't quite where you want them, you can give up a bunch of runs.
Yeah, and you know, there's a certain amount of luck involved too. That's clearly the case in Arrieta's last start. He allowed 10 balls in play, and 9 of them went for base hits. Wasn't a lot of hard contact against him in that ball game either.
The ball hit out into the deep reaches of the outfield as Smith runs it down on the warning track to retire Fowler. But the Cubs connecting twice in the inning. Rizzo to start it, and 3 batters later, Montero knocking in 3. Chicago sports trivia knowledge for the chance to win cash on an all-new episode of Beer Money, presented by Coors Light. Tomorrow at 7 on CSN Chicago. Five-zip Cubs. Bottom of the fourth. One hit for the Braves. That was a Smith bunt single in the third. Oh, strike call. Freeman.
Well, comfortable late for Arrieta. He can really be aggressive here. He's throwing a lot of fastball. There's a good curveball. Yeah, look at the breakdown, man. He's leaned heavily on that heater, trying to be efficient.
His manager referenced the winning streak that had reached 20 for him personally going back to late July, and said, you know, it ended. Maybe in the end, the silver lining is he doesn't have to think about it, start a new streak. Just go pitch.
And Joe has said repeatedly that he doesn't feel like we've seen the best of Arrieta this year.
Jake feels that way too. Including today, just 51 games left here for the Braves in this ballpark before they move to the suburbs. 2017.
They had Brian Jordan during the ball game yesterday come and peel the 2 off there. I don't know who the peeler is. Oh, Bill Acree.
Hard on the ground, backhanded play. Zobrist, he's got time.
Bill Acree is the traveling secretary here for the Braves. 51 years in baseball, so that's why he's peeling the 1 off today.
Is Biff Pocaroba going to do it?
Biff Pocaroba, I'd like to see Biff out there. A little rolling
Biff
office.
never played here. He played over Fulton County.
True.
But his whole career was with the Braves.
We got a little spy versus spy going on here with Arrieta and Markakis. Battling witness protection program beards. Smith Brothers cough drops matchup. Oh no.
That is a fair ball. Wow. Markakis trying for 2, and he is safe on a close play.
He just got beat by that fastball and got lucky. Right down the third base line. Coughlin made this play pretty close. So hit number 2 for the Braves.
Strike called on Garcia. How about Chicago native Buzz Capra? Buzz Capra and Biff Pocaroba. Capra had a strange career, didn't he? Arm injuries ended that career, but in 1974 with the Braves, he led the majors in ERA at 2.28. In the years around that, not so good. Been in a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Arrieta. Broken bat flare that will get down for a hit. Coming around is Markakis, and he will score, and the Braves get their first run. Garcia with his 4th hit of the series, and it's 5-1.
Braves showing a little fight here. Garcia gets to this fastball, doesn't crush it by any means. It's here where the Cubs playing deep, bites him a little bit. A smart play there by Fowler to get that ball back into the infield and worry about the lead runner, keeping the double play in order.
Brzezinski grounded out his first at bat, still 8 out of 15 against Arrieta with a couple of home runs. Takes a strike. Got his 2000th career hit in April.
Blue Bayou.
Oh, 1-2. Oh, 3. So Arrieta makes quick work of Brzezinski. That is his first strikeout today.
Yeah, that's interesting coming off that game where he struck out 12 in 5 innings. But again, a lot of it I think is the approach. His approach, very aggressive with the fastball, basically throwing it in there. Let's go, boys. Let's get it on, hoping to get some early outs. And the other thing is just a different approach between the Diamondbacks, who are willing to take pitches, get into vulnerable counts to try to run up a pitch count on them. Braves tied for last in the major leagues in terms of pitches per plate appearance, so they're not a real patient group. Braves putting the ball in play more frequently than the Diamondbacks, but just not finding the holes that the D-backs did.
Is too low. Pinch hitter on deck. Brandon Snyder. In the pitcher spot.
Whoop.
4 gets away. So Peterson. Free pass.
Grab your cowboy hats and boots for John and Farrah Lester's Never Quit Goes Country fundraiser at Joe's Bar on Weed Street. It'll take place July 6th. Join John and Lester, Cub players and coaches, for a night of country music, interactive carnival games, food, and much more country fun. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/neverquit. You like the fried pies? What's the other one? The fried dough?
Oh, yeah.
It's a carnival thing, right? Maybe a little sausage on a
Elephant
stick.
ears.
Elephant ears.
Is that what they're called?
Funnel
cakes.
In Canada, they call them beaver tails.
Okay.
Because the beaver is a big deal up there in Canada.
Quick visit from Chris Bosio, and here is Brandon Snyder.
First strikeout of the game by Jake, followed by the first walk of the game.
Snyder, a former Oriole, Ranger, and Red Sox, 29 years old. Takes ball 1. Braves will get it into their bullpen after a 4-inning start from Whistler. They made a change tomorrow. It was going to be Aaron Blair. Because of the off day Thursday, they have reconfigured their rotation. So 23-year-old rookie John Gant will make his first major league start. He had appeared in 7 games as a reliever.
So not exactly an ideal situation for Brian Snitker to go short with his starter here today with a guy making his first major league start tomorrow, but you deal with it.
Take a deep breath just like that. Yep. 2-1 is bounced to Zobrist, and the inning is over. Braves get their first run, but they trail the Cubs 5-1. By T-Mobile. We mentioned some finals from the early games today. Royals beat the White Sox 4-1 the final. That snaps their 8-game losing streak. Chesler Cuthbert had 3 hits, including 2 homers. Big day for Edwin Encarnacion. The Blue Jays win over the Orioles in the Battle of the Birds. Nationals shut out the Phillies 8-0. Anthony Rendon knocked in a couple. We will be in D.C. Monday night. Enjoying that music.
Kind of bebopping here. A little dude. He's matured early.
All right, baby. Cubs 5 and the Braves 1.
Oh, there you go. You could do a whole segment. Barry White doing play-by-play.
Here's Eric Flaherty.
One of 3 southpaws in the Brave bullpen, and good idea to go left against this Cub lineup today. O'Flaherty back in a Brave uniform. 1 and 3 with a 5.71 ERA.
Hayward got the scoring started in the first inning. Second batter in. Homered to right.
Flaherty had been a Brave from 2009 through 2013. Last year he was a Met. Was with the Pirates in spring training and then traded over here to the Braves. Started his career back in 2006 with Seattle.
Make sure you follow In Game Live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. So the Braves are moving into a new ballpark called SunTrust Park. According to the Braves website, I'm quoting, it will be the perfect marriage of classic ballpark feel, modern amenities, as that one gets away from the pitcher and Hayward's going to beat it.
Could have a little history here. Eric O'Flaherty has never committed an error.
It's a hit. And he still has it.
I'm going to file that under the category of a play that should have been made, however. But normally that's going to be ruled a knock. Good for Jason, his second one here today. A perfect marriage between classic ballpark,
modern amenities, and southern hospitality, creating an experience unlike any other. So I'm hearing it's kind of the ballpark village feel in St. Louis, a little bit of the Petco Park and that area feel. The Braves, kind of running a lot of the stuff around the ballpark. But my question for you, without getting into the specifics of what the park will look like and feel like, if you were asked to design a new ballpark, and there haven't been that many here lately, as that one is hooked into left and gone. A line shot homer that got out of here in a hurry for Bryant as he regains the team lead.
Boom, 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 4 times. The Cubs have gone boom here today. Flaherty, yeah, he can counter a lot of those left-handed bats, but unfortunately for him, Bryant swings from the right side. Got a lot of topspin, but hit it hard enough so it was able to carry over that wall and left.
Ford home run replay. So that is a typical Chris Bryant swing in that he hits a lot of topspin line drives. But I would say an atypical Chris Bryant home run. Right? A lot of those top spinners end up doubles or are caught, whereas most of his home runs are more
boom,
arching,
high,
towering fly balls. As Rizzo bounces out. Okay, so what would you have to have in a new ballpark? We haven't had that many new ones here the last 10 years. You'd want deep dimensions because you're a pitcher.
Well, I would want funky. I would want some deep, some shallow. I would want some different angles. I would want to create an opportunity for triples, which is a very exciting play.
How about instead of a hill like Taos Hill, you had a valley? Go the other direction.
Vern's Valley. You got to run down the hill, like some of the ballparks you played in when you were kids, when there was no fence or anything. It was just a hill, and the ball rolled down, and you had to chase after it.
How about like a cart path?
How about a moat with alligators?
Zobrist bounces out. Moat. Oh, it's great.
So I'm thinking about the new ballpark here. It's going to have their southern charm. I think in right field they should have a big, expansive porch with rocking chairs. People pay a premium to go hang out there and drink their lemonade, and
I like it.
Maybe served by Southern belles with big flouncy dresses and parasols.
Have old Andy Griffith records playing in the background. I'd bring back the bullpen cart.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the baseball cart.
I want my relievers to be driven to the mound, not have to walk.
Plus, think of the sponsorship opportunities with the bullpen cart.
Coughlin strikes out, and the inning is over. Chris Bryant with a 2-run homer The old frozen rope on a hot day in Atlanta. 7-1 Cubs. Moat. That's great.
They have this whole Game of Thrones going on.
That's not my area of expertise. I'll go with who Edzo picks.
Yeah, I'll just pull our money behind Eddie, and we'll go with.
Is Nyquist running?
I don't know. I honestly, if there's no chance for a Triple Crown,
he's not running.
I stopped paying attention.
Okay. You are a bad horse racing fan.
I used to always watch all the Triple Crown events.
1-0 to Malik Smith is a strike.
I used to watch every Evel Knievel jump.
A lot of run support for Jake Arrieta. He hasn't always needed it. Run average down to 182 through the first 4 innings. We got a tweet, and I wanted to, just to kind of, in a serious vein, follow up on our design a new ballpark. I like most of the fence heights low enough to steal away a home run. That is another very exciting play in baseball. Smith strikes out swinging.
Yeah, I would go for that. Low fences. Low fences, but also with the fans far enough away where they can't reach over and interfere with the ball. Make that a priority.
No on Inciarte. That ball hit him, and he did not swing, so he gets first base. Talked about how aggressive the Braves are. Well, you see Darno will take a walk, and ironically his name is Chase. How about this? Create a little oasis of foul territory in the stands, like a little small path with just a little garden area where you could catch a foul ball maybe between first and right. Like just beyond the tarp.
Like, so you take
like
out the seats.
Green. Yeah, you take out the seats. Just a little area where you could kind of run into the stands and camp under a foul ball.
Of course.
The greatest thing about this game is that every ballpark has its own quirks. And if you can put a hill in center field, you can do anything. And I like Tal's Hill. Not everybody loves it. Sounds like they're going to get rid of it eventually. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that. I like Tal's Hill. I like the berm, you know. Crosley Field, way back in the day, had a berm. Fenway had a berm for a time.
The kick and the 1-2 is popped up. Zobrist backpedaling, maybe looking for some help, and he gets it from Hayward. That's out number 2. We'll bring up Freddie Freeman. I'll tell you what, this place is nearly full. Doesn't look like a sellout, but we're well above 30,000, aren't we?
Yeah, a lot of folks in the upper deck.
The only area that is lightly populated is out in the upper deck and right, but everything else is pretty full. Makes the play in the shift, and the inning is over. 7-1 Cubs. Behind Jake Arrieta, and the Cubs' upcoming game schedule is brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. We'll wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon and then head off to the nation's capital for 3 against the Nats. Montero with a 3-run homer. The Cubs have a couple of solos. 2-run shot by Bryant, 3-run homer Montero. Foul tip, 1-1.
Lester tomorrow for the Cubs. So Lackey, Hendricks, Hamill in the series against the Nats. Should see Strasburg, right? And he just pitched.
He pitched last night. Improved to 10-0. Peterson will throw, but Freeman grabs it.
You can follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, at CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
So this doesn't really apply to the Cubs because they've been in first place pretty much throughout. Came in with a 9-game lead in the division, but you often hear about the dog days of summer when it comes to the baseball season. Normally the reference is August, right? Could you make a case that late June, early July, before the break, you've had spring training, first half of the season? I mean, that is a long stretch without really more than one off day in a row. And for the Cubs, a lot of their guys are not going to get much of a break. They may have 6 or 7 All-Stars when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And I think the Roman calendar, the dog days, actually, we're more June, July than August.
Called strike 3. So Russell is out.
Had to do with the dog star and where it was positioned in the sky and all that good stuff. But yes, your point being that the dog days, the exhaustion, the grind. So yeah, I would say prior to the All-Star break, late June, early July, and then again, late August when you've been playing in the heat day after day.
Joe has really stuck to his spring training plan to give everybody a day off here or there. Obviously, you don't like the back issue for Rizzo, but it did keep him off the field last night for the first time this season. In his previous non-starts, he had either pinch hit or come in to play defense. Arrieta is 2 for 3. Can't keep him off the bases, JD.
I know. Nice leisurely jaunt down to first base after this line drive single. Smart, no need to push it. Let's go into Kronk mode.
Two on Fowler.
Strong shift here on the left side of the infield for Fowler, and it's not a whole lot of room between short and third. Seems to me like Darno could cheat a little bit more towards the middle.
Two to 3-2. Cubs got 1 in the first, 4 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. All the runs coming on home runs today. And Ciarte misplays it. It's going to roll to the wall. Arrieta around third. And he will score on a double by Fowler. 8-1.
It happened last night. It happens again here today. Ciarte, playing a very shallow center field, has a Fowler drive go over his head for a 2-base hit. Last night, I think it was just a function of playing shallow. Today, not only playing shallow, but a bit of a misread as he breaks laterally before retreating.
Jake goes first to home. Hopefully Hayward can extend this inning a little bit.
That shot of Arrieta sitting calmly in the dugout there speaks to his conditioning. I think a lot of guys would be hands on their knees up the tunnel trying to get some air conditioning with their head in a bucket of ice water.
You're envisioning yourself in that scenario, let's be honest. Yeah.
Absolutely I am. There he goes. He's going to head somewhere cooler.
I'll be in the tunnel hurling right now. Grady, you ready to get back out there?
I think so.
Yeah, well, first off, if Gary Jones was waving me home, I would have said wrong. I'm going to settle in right here.
Two strikes on Hayward.
Arrieta's athleticism gets the Cubs a run and gets Fowler an RBI.
Called strike 3. Ball dropped by Przinsky, but he tags Hayward. The inning is over. Cubs get their first run not via the homer. 8-1. In Chicago think eClick Lending, whether looking to purchase or refi, never pay lender fees with eClick Lending. Visit us online at eclicklending.com to lock in your low rate today. eClick Lending, point, click, save. Jake Arrieta back to work against Nick Markakis. Orioles teammates.
Notice Markakis not wearing the sunglasses for this at bat. Clouds have rolled in a little bit. There's no threatening skies, just not quite as bright as it was earlier.
Jake making his 80th start as a Cub. He made only 63 as an Oriole, so he's pitched more with the Cubs than he has with his original team. Battle of the Beards. I think it was mid-80s. Wrigley Field, they had a shot of ZZ Top at Wrigley. And Harry said, "Who is that, Arnie? ZZ Top. They look like they should be selling cough drops." Deep to center, Fowler makes a catch. Well, that's a terrible Harry impersonation, but you get the idea.
How do you get to Wrigley Field? The Cubs suggest taking public transportation. The Cubs do offer a free bike check. That's located by the Addison Red Line station. If you drive, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Garcia takes low. Braves held to 3 hits, back-to-back hits in the 4th. Latter of which was the Garcia RBI hit to give them their only run. He waits on a 1-1. Now 1-2. Red Sox are walloping the Twins in Minnesota 15-4 today as they play the bottom of the 9th.
Big Poppy doing some damage.
Ortiz 3 out of 5. Xander Bogaerts 4 for 5 with a home run, 3 knocked in, 4 runs scored. Sandy Leon from the 9th spot is 4 for 4. It's Ian Kroll, a left-hander in the Braves bullpen. Brewers leading the Mets 5-3 in the 6th inning in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun and Chris Carter have homered, and so has Willie Peralta. He hit a 2-run shot off Logan Barrett. Started for the Mets today. Chris Carter has 17 home runs. Bryant takes a look at it, and the throw pulls Rizzo off the bag. Error on Bryant.
Throws have been very accurate this year. Last year at times a little issue with the footwork, and he would have to hurry his throw. The ball would tend to sail on him. That has really not been the issue this season. This time he just loads up and misfires. Doing his level best to stay on and then get back to the bag, but it's an E5.
Second error for the Cubs today. Back to Arrieta, he knocks it down, and it'll go 1-6-3 on the double play to end the inning. I'm not sure if it hit his glove or his leg, but he looks fine, and he leads by 7. Got a fun day for Cub fans here in Atlanta, and there are a lot of them. Time to set up a rubber match tomorrow afternoon. Cubs won 2 of 3 in Philadelphia to start this 3-city trek. Left-hander Ian Kroll will be the third Brave pitcher today. Whistler went 4 and O'Flaherty went 2.
Kroll, Chicago area kid. Went to high school in Naperville. Born in Hinsdale. Hard throwing lefty. Was pitched to a 3.86 ERA through 16 games.
National and Tiger. Ball 1 to Bryant.
Originally a 7th round pick of the A's back in 09.
Kroll's 1-0 is low. Play off of first.
Mostly hard stuff from Kroll. Fastballs and cutters.
And that ball lined into left. Bryant with a big turn. He's going to try for 2, and he's going to make it standing.
Second hit, second extra base hit for Bryant today. Home run last time. Now a leadoff double as the Cubs push for more. Probably don't need it, but they'll take it. Did Bryce Harper, what they call Chris growing up, Big Easy or Big Smooth or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
There's an easiness to his game.
Yes.
At least the appearance of easiness.
Some guys just make it look easier than it is. Back by Rizzo. 1-2. Looking like Anthony will be an all-star for the 3rd consecutive season.
When do the voting wrap up? Got a while yet, right?
I think so. I think it's maybe the final day of June.
Does he have a sizable lead?
I think so, yeah. In the last update, he was in a pretty comfortable position. Dexter Fowler was leading all outfielders. Russell, Bryant, Zobrist also would be starters if the voting ended today. Runner at third, 1 out.
Cub fans, join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list. Do it today. Claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
The word was silk.
Silk.
You were on it. Smooth, easy, silky.
Grace.
Infield in. Ball 1 to Zobrist. One and two.
A bit of a chase there at that high backdoor cutter. Zobrist coming out of his game a little bit, but most guys get a little extra aggressive with man on third base.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 gone, and now Albert Almora Jr. for Chris Coghlan. Stay in and play left in these final 3 innings. Great sliding catch in the foul territory last night in his first start. Went 1 for 3 at the plate with a double and a run. Manny Machado are pretty tight. Curious to get Albert's thoughts on the Donald Ventura Manny Machado fight the other night. Served into center. Inciarte, as we've talked about, plays pretty shallow, so he makes the catch, no problem. Stretch time, 8-1 Cubs. is in D.C., Cubs and the Nationals. Remember, the Cubs swept the Nats at Wrigley in a 4-game series earlier. Join us at 6 for the first pitch on CSN Chicago.
Yeah, an impressive sweep of the Nationals. Of course, the subplot in that series was the approach with Bryce Harper. As the Cubs walked him 13 times total in the series. It's kind of fun to watch that all play out.
Arrieta continues. 94-degree day. Peterson, a pinch hitter, and then Smith. You mentioned earlier Jake's domination of the Braves last year. 2 starts, 13 innings, 7 hits, 0 runs. He's given up 1 today through 6.
Getting through 7 on a hot day like today would be mission accomplished. No need to extend them. You got a big lead.
It's a leadoff walk. Alexi Ogando up for the Braves. Looks like he'll pitch the 8th as Daniel Castro announced as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, maybe starting to feel the effects of the heat and running the bases. Castro hitting a .185, a very good glove man.
One and one on him. One and two. Whatever Montero said to Arrieta, it worked.
A lot of times it's just okay, stay on that backside a little longer, use your legs and drive the ball to the bottom of the strike zone. Go back to basics.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That has not been really part of the story today. It's only his 3rd.
Good sinker. On the plate, but diving down below the knees. It's a great sequence. You see pitches 2, 3, and 4. We talked earlier about a guy who uses the elevated fastball climbing the ladder. Well, that was a great example of Jake working the bottom of the zone and then pitching below the zone. He has been very much committed to the fastball here today.
His earned run average at the moment is at 177. That's where he finished last year when he won the Cy Young.
Ooh. So a zone that was pretty wide early in the ball game has not stayed there, and there's the breakdown. 79% fastballs for Jake here today.
second. Smith runs well, but they still turn it.
Well, they're calling him safe at second base. And they're saying that Addison
wasn't on the
vacated,
bag.
yeah.
Yeah, so no more neighborhood play. Last year, that's a 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've seen this called this year. Well, I couldn't see it there because the base runner was in the way, but it looked like he was in position at least to kick the back corner of the bag with the baseball. Cubs are reviewing the video, debating a challenge.
You have to touch the base now. Well, there's a lot of, he kicked up so much dirt, it's hard to tell. Therefore, would probably be inconclusive. So the Cubs will not challenge. A 4-6-3 ground out.
Wondering when we were going to see that call. We knew sooner or later we would.
Yeah, you made reference to it, I think, last night.
Yeah,
we hadn't seen it yet. Ciarte fouls off.
I think umpires that have been around a while, most of these guys have. You have to kind of force yourself to look for that play. And middle infielders used to turning the double play a certain way. You have to force themselves to change their routine a little bit, be more committed to making sure they're on the base.
Pitch for Arrieta. He's hit into the air. Hayward racing after it, and he's not going to get it. It'll get to the wall. So the double play that wasn't turned turns into a run, and Ciarte has a triple. 8-2 now.
Ciarte off to a slow start. Spent a bunch of time on the disabled list, but lately he's been getting his hits. Watching that one like he thought I was going to fly out of here before finding an extra gear.
Curve misses high on d'Arnaud. Just the Braves' fourth hit today. 2 singles, a double, and a triple. Oh! I know you'll agree with this as a former pitcher. Will there be a point where that play we just saw that was not turned ends up being an error? Because it feels like an unearned run.
Yeah. I doubt it, but it certainly, you could certainly justify it. Look out.
True throw, and the infielder does what he's been taught to do his whole life, and now that's not an out if you don't get a corner of the bag.
Yeah, I never agreed with the old official scoring ruling that you could not assume a double play. There are plenty of times when you can assume a double play. Should be able to assume a double play.
So to Rizzo to end the inning. After 7, it's the Cubs 8 and the Braves 2. Another hefty because the Cubs have gone deep 4 times today.
It has been an impressive show in support of Jake Arrieta. Jake's afternoon is over, getting the handshakes. On his way to his 10th win. Gondo is the new pitcher for the Braves, the wiry right-hander. He's been busy. This is his 29th appearance, 1-1 with a 4.10 ERA, sixth year in the big leagues. Last year he was a Red Sox.
Castro stays in and plays short, so D'Arnaud done for the day.
Gondo from the Dominican Republic started his career with the Rangers. Both as a reliever and a starter for Texas.
They couldn't quite make up their mind. He made 29 starts as an all-star in 2011. Following year, 58 appearances, mostly in relief, only 1 start. The following year to that, he made 18 starts. Since has been exclusively a reliever. Stops in Boston and now Atlanta. .6'4", 200. Alexi Ogando. Pitch. Off the outside corner. He is a converted outfielder. Started his minor league career in the A's system in the outfield. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Follow Cubs baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Pretty firm, 96. From Ogando, we saw Arodys Vizcaíno, the former Cub, last night hitting 100 on the radar gun. Looking from the stretch with nobody on. The 2-1 to Russell is outside and low. 3-1. Matt Caesar on deck for Arrieta. Center field, Inciarte back toward the wall and on the dirt. He hauls it in.
That one had a little more air under it. He was able to run underneath it. Pretty good swing by Russell, though. Madison 1 out of 4 now today.
So here is Matt Caesar off the bench. No, he is not the forgotten man with some of the roster machinations here this week, with Soler going on the DL. Almora coming up. Probably going to play a little bit more than Caesar, considering his age. They don't want Almora just to sit on the bench for too long without getting into the action. And they traded for Chris Coghlan, and LaStella got hurt, but Matt, a very important part of this team. And you can never have enough depth. Freeman. Cubs go 1-2-3, but they have a 6-run lead late. Into the bullpen as Travis Wood gets loose.
Travis Wood on for the 29th time. That's the tops on the club. He's 3-0 with a 2.35 ERA. Worked an inning in the ball game last night. You hungry? You're gonna have a pizza burger here at the ballpark.
I don't know. Kind of in the one or the other camp on that. Although I've said that about other exotic compound food items at the ballpark and then have enjoyed.
Well, that's everybody's
those.
up in the ante, challenging every ballpark, trying to come up with the most creative options. Maybe a little beef gravy over the top would really be the key there. Travis, an inning last night. Typically when he goes out there, he's very efficient. He's throwing strike one like 70% of the time. Not a real hard thrower, but he has a good fastball, makes good use of it. Short, quick arm action. There's some deception.
Foul tip, strike 3. Here comes Markakis.
The draft wraps up today, correct?
It does.
I believe at one point the Cubs had taken 17 pitchers out of the first 20 rounds or something like that. And heavy on pitching. Jake Arrieta today, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. Walked 2, struck out 3. 205 pitches, 61 strikes. That's the pitch we saw it early in the game. That pitch off the outside corner to the left-handed hitters. Copeland's been very generous out there.
Two and two. Cubs just sent out a release. As you mentioned, the draft. They've completed it. 38 selections over the last 2 days. Among the notes, Chad Hockin, a right-handed pitcher, taken in the 6th round, is the grandson of Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew. In the 12th round, they selected right-hander Trey Cobb. His grandfather, Frank Lindsay, pitched in the big leagues for 11 seasons. Bryant makes a catch in foul territory. There you go.
I thought you were going to drop a Ty Cobb relationship on us there.
I was thinking that as well. A lot of pitchers. A lot of college players as well. Catcher Sam Tideback or Tideback. I'm guessing Tideback, T-I-D-A-B-A-C-K, out of the University of North Georgia, 21st round. From Plainfield, Illinois, went to Providence Catholic High. Rizzo makes the catch. More draft notes as we continue. Cubs lead 8-2 late. Murray's having a good time at the ball game here today. It's Bill behind Joel. And, Seats to Joel's right is Andy Murray. Murray grew up huge Cub fans in Wilmette.
This is yet another lefty out of the Braves bullpen, Hunter Cervenka. Hunter spent a couple of years in the Cubs organization, pitched at Daytona and Tennessee, including part of last year. He also worked in Iowa, and then pitched independent ball at Sugar Land for the Skeeters, and then AA and AAA for the Braves. So he's a rookie, big guy, 6'1", 245. Throws fastball, slider, and a curve.
Fowler digs in. A couple of other draft notes I want to mention. 22nd round, Cubs took a high school left-hander, Dante Biasi, out of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, Joe Madden's hometown. Cervenka's 0-1 is a strike 0-2. 31st round, right-hander Brendan Heiss from Jacobs High in Algonquin, Illinois. 38th round pick, center fielder Tyler Filote is a son of Cubs regional cross-checker Bobby Filote. Fowler strikes out. Here's Hayward. He's had a nice day.
Travis Fryman's son got drafted. Craig Biggio's son, we talked about him last night. Cavan was drafted in the 5th round. Cavan played college ball and plays his college ball at Notre Dame, as does Torrey Hunter's son. He got drafted.
Huge crowd, 43,114.
And not many have left, despite the lopsided score and the sweltering temperature.
Late matinee. I guess they're showing Ferris Bueller's Day Off here after the game. Swing battle.
What percentage of these fans will stay to watch Ferris Bueller, do you think?
I don't know the answer to that. Trevor Cahill in the Cubs bullpen. Two and two.
I remember doing a game here a few years ago. It was after they got the new video board, and at the time it was like state of the art. It was the video board out there, straightaway center field, and we had a pretty lengthy rain delay. So I started cranking the music, and it basically turned into a dance party. And people were just loving it, watching themselves dance on the big screen. I thought, you could sell this. You could bring people into the ballpark, give them food and beverage, play music, and let them watch themselves on the big screen.
Even when it's not raining?
Well, they seem to be having a blast.
But I'm wondering how important the rain was to the festivities. Two to Hayward. It's full.
Good take.
Hit hard, and that's going to get into right center. Hayward trying for a double. At first, he's safe. Homer single double for Jason.
Wow, you talk about playing the game. 8-2, top of the ninth. And he turns this seemingly routine single into a double. That's just great base running and taking nothing for granted. Boy, that's a lesson right there in how to play the game.
Bryant will be given the intentional walk. The Cub fans in the ballpark don't like it.
Do you think he could squeeze one in between the 3 and the 2 on our little grid there?
That would have been awesome.
That would have been really good.
He almost did. Between the 1 and the 3.
Venke, the 5th Brave pitcher to work here today. The starter Whistler went 4, allowed 5 runs on 3 home runs, and last year in his start against the Cubs he gave up 3 home runs. In that outing he went 2 2/3, 6 2/3, 6 home runs. He's not going to be in a hurry to face the Cubs.
This has not been a typical offensive day for the Cubs. It has in terms of scoring a bunch, but that was their first walk, and it was intentional. Normally they sprinkle in a bunch of walks. 13 hits, including 4 home runs. He's definitely turned the trick. 1-1. 2-1 on Anthony.
They dialed down the on-base machine today and cranked up the slugging machine.
Two on Rizzo. Took some swings in the cage, told his manager, I'm good to go. Got back into the lineup after missing last night due to some back tightness. Today he hit his 15th home run. The 14th, I should say. As he swings and misses. For strike 3. 2 down. Now Zobrist. So Rizzo's 14th briefly tied him with Bryant for the team lead. Bryant in the following inning hit his 15th.
Are valuable at bats that Zobrist is getting here lately against left-handed pitching. There was a stretch there where the Cubs didn't see many left-handed pitchers, and his swing has looked out of sync from the right side, kind of choppy, just not on time. So the more lefties he sees, the more likely he's able to turn that around. He's always been good from this side.
Foul, maybe a foot at most. Maybe a yard. We'll say 3 feet. Two and one. Two balls, 2 strikes. Yank foul out of play to left. Look at that section right there. It's the amount of Cub fans in this ballpark. I don't even want to say half or whatever, but let's say a third. That's maybe 15,000 Cub fans. Incredible. Two.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there may be at least a third here.
They travel well.
Braves management doesn't mind.
No.
Money spends. They're only drawing 22,000 and change per game.
Almost doubled that today. Another 2-2 to Zobrist and a swing and a miss to end the inning. Bottom 9 coming up. Cubs 8, Braves 2. Game, couple of hits, but it's been his pitching that has grabbed the headlines. He is in line for his 10th win against just 1 defeat. Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, it was really interesting to watch his approach here today, leaning so heavily on that fastball, especially in the early going. You knew this is a team that liked to attack early, so he was willing to throw it in there in search of early contact and early outs. He got it. He was able to remain efficient and got through 7 innings on a hot, sultry afternoon here in Atlanta. And Plenty of offense to support him, including 4 long balls. Travis Wood with a scoreless inning, and now Trevor Cahill on to finish things off. Trevor working for the 23rd time. He's 0-1 with a .236 earned run average.
A.J. Przinsky will lead it off. Strike one. It's hard to explain sometimes. It's a change of scenery, different situation. Can be good or bad depending. In Cahill's case, didn't pitch much here in Atlanta. 15 appearances, 3 starts, but a .752, ton of hits. Second he became a Cub, and then he's had an ERA in the 2s his last 2 years combined, as Almora makes a catch.
And I'm wondering if he was a little tender, a little sore here when he was here, because his velocity was down in the time he spent with the Braves.
One out, and it's Peterson.
Jake walked 2 today, and it was Peterson both times.
Oh, lined in the right. 1 out single. Peterson on for the 3rd time. Rooney. This is George Peterson.
It's got 6'4" written all over it, doesn't it? Bullpen well rested. They've thrown the fewest innings of any bullpen in Major League Baseball. The starters have been so good.
And they turn this. They're not going to get anybody. Short hop. Eludes Bryant, and it'll be his 2nd error of the ball game. The Cubs have committed 3 in all.
Yeah, they've been on a very nice run there. Coming into the series, have played error-free baseball in 8 out of 9 or something like that.
It was 8 in a row without an error until last night.
Addison Russell made one last night. Chris was maybe thinking ahead of himself there, trying to create an angle to make a throw to second base.
John Lester and John Gant tomorrow afternoon. To first, Rizzo will step on the bag. He'll fire to second. Tag applied, but it's not in time. 2 outs.
Smart play, go to the bag, make sure you get in outs, and take a shot at Castro.
Second and third, 2 down. The pitch. This should do it. Rizzo will field. Cubs win. Cubs win 8-2 the final. Jake Arrieta has win number 10.
Yeah, nice effort by Arrieta here today, and obviously the offense stepped up in a big way with 4 home runs. I'm not sure there's not more than a third of the populace here in this ballpark, Cub fans right now, rising to their feet for that final out. And the Cubs will go for the series win behind John Lester tomorrow.
We're back on CSN for the opener of this big series in Washington starting Monday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. Right.